what happened in this final episode was it basically based around the GCSE exams and in particular the mock exams which are held in December. It focused on like the lack of confidence a lot of the students, especially the female students, had, and the poor grades that came from. In the case, they were talking about like the finances of the school and how the budget cuts are affecting it. And in a way, I can sort of see it, but I think to a point, and this is what I felt personally watching it, to a point, you've got to sort of say, when does it stop being about what we're doing and stop being about the students, basically? And as a school, over the 8 episodes, I think they do try and do the best for each pupil, which, you know, at times is quite hard.
Do you think, and this is just based on the students that we saw, because obviously there's a lot of students at that school, they can only focus on...
blurry faces by the looks of things.
Blurry faces and eyebrows that need to be discussed every single podcast we ever do. There was a degree with this school, and I loved the head teacher, Mr. Povey. I think he's one of my favourite head teachers of the run. And just the Povey trio, who will obviously release a song at Christmas. There were certain things with this school that I struggled with. I struggled with the phone thing, and I wasn't alone with that. I don't see any benefit.
Mr. Bispham from our old friend from Educating the East End, his review.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the phone thing is them saying you can have your phones out in the lesson. I don't know if that is a particular rule.
We saw that. We saw a girl playing on her mobile during a lesson, and being told to put it away, and she goes, "Oh, you nearly made me die." And I'm like, "This is friggin' school. Put your phone away."
But I mean, I knew people. I mean, me and you really went to school in the pre-mobile age. I mean, I had a mobile, I think, when I was 15.
I got around all right.
But, I mean, I would sort of get out maybe, you know, things when the teacher wasn't like, probably like CD players. And I remember listening to CDs in class sometimes. I think a lot of people did it, Luke.
You're an awful person.
I
wasn't even allowed a Walkman at break time.
I think a lot of this is based on your prejudices and your school days and things like that, and what happened to you at school.
The other thing is, I thought there was a degree in this series of... Now, you're going to hate me for saying this. I'll probably edit it out if it goes down really badly. But I think there's a degree in this series of them pampering to some of the kids. And I wish there was a degree of, come on now, pull up your bootstraps or whatever the modern equivalent is. Get on with it. There was a lot of sort of... I mean, why they gave so much credence to those really young kids who were in a relationship one minute and not the next. I think as a whole, the series struggled to find enough stories to fill.
It was sort of filler, wasn't it, sort of thing? Yeah. But they have to deal... This is the thing, though, Luke. It's as much about the sort of... what's the word? Not personal lives, but sort of the emotional development as it is about the academic development. And that's the thing you'd find in all schools now. And if there is any issues like that, they still have to deal with them.
All the kids on this final episode just refusing to go into the mock exam. I really struggled with that. And
I know, I think a lot of them were like, pull yourself together and things like that. And maybe there is an element of, maybe we are in too much of a pampered society, but then it...
What I liked, because we'd never seen it before, was like, I just said then about them not being tough, but I loved the stuff where they were tough on the parents and saying, look, they're coming even without breakfast, then send them with a decent breakfast.
I think one thing you have to think about is the actual area and the fact it's in a deprived area where maybe a lot of the students don't get the support at home.
No, that's exactly the point.
You know, me and you both did. So we're seeing it through our eyes. School is that place where they get most of the support and a lot more encouragement. You saw a lot, and I think this is true of all the educating series. I think you've had all the heads have sort of been that, you know, encouragement and treating the kids like grown-ups to an extent. I think a lot of the people you said who were sort of helping the kids out was that support team rather than the teachers sort of thing. I think it was mainly
now you bring up that thing. It's been a running theme throughout the series. We've seen, you know, that support team going round to houses and literally picking them up from school. But on the whole, I don't know if I'm desperate for another series of educating ...
I enjoy it because it's a different school every time. It's a different dynamic every time. I feel like we enjoy the first few episodes and then it drops off a cliff. So I think if they do 6 rather than 8, which it's always been an 8, I think we'd enjoy it more because they wouldn't be struggling for stories as much.